Hello, my name is Amy Elder, and I am an LPN to PSN student through Indiana State University. And today we will be discussing the health benefits of outdoor activities. By the end of this presentation, you should be able to do four things. You should be able to identify the personal health benefits of outdoor activities. You should be able to analyze the impact of community health from the outdoor activities. Recognize the precautions that are needed with outdoor activities, and determine where to obtain information about local outdoor activities. At this point, please stop here and take the pretest to assess your knowledge about the benefits of outdoor activities. The pretest can be accessed by clicking the accompanying link to this presentation down below. Let's start by taking a second to look at the time spent by the average American outside. Roughly 7% of our time is spent outdoors, and another 6% is spent inside vehicles. But 87% of our time on average is spent inside buildings. There's a lot of benefits that can come from actually going outside and doing activities out there, and they kind of break down into three categories. The first being improved mental well-being. Spending time in nature and natural light can reduce stress, and it can also help improve concentration ability. It also has a lot of benefits for your emotional well-being. Being outdoors improves your mood and decreases depression. And studies have shown that just even 5 minutes of green exercise results in improvements in self-esteem and mood. It also will help with your physical well-being. You'll get an increased intake of vitamin D, also known as the sunshine vitamin. You'll burn more calories for participating in outdoor activities. You're also able to increase your healing abilities and reduce overall inflammation within your body. And it helps promote better sleep by interacting with your circadian rhythms. Next, let's take a look at the impact of community health from outdoor activities. You look over here to the right, there's a little diagram that kind of shows how they're all related. So you have your community health from outdoor activities kind of in the center. And start at the top, we have a strengthened community relations, which leads to a reduction in crime. It encourages volunteering. It supports the community youth. It promotes social bonds, and it promotes stewardship of the community itself. Outdoor recreation has a significant role to play in the treatment and management of chronic diseases, all of which can affect the overall community health, such as diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and mental anxiety. The National Parks and Recreation Association reports that decades of medical research attest to the preventative and curative effects of increased fitness, particularly outdoor exercises and walking-oriented lifestyle on children and adults. The healthier a community is, the overall impact it'll have a promoted balance of health and a better quality of life. As with the starting of any new physical activity, there are precautions with outdoor activities that need to be aware of. A lot of these are listed on a lot of the different websites available for the state and local governments, national governments, and even the private institutions that offer physical activities, especially outdoors. But here's some of the top ones that you need to be aware of. Traveling with a companion is really recommended so that you're never alone if something were to happen. Knowing your physical limits so that you don't overexert yourself or become stranded. Being aware of your surroundings, so you can be aware if there's any danger that's presented. Also be aware of your footing. If you're outdoors, wild animals can also be concerns. Just being aware of where you're at and what's around you. The wearing appropriate clothing, which, if it's cold, you want to wear layers so you can take off and put on as needed. If you're out where there's brush, you want to make sure your body's covered with appropriate things. You don't get scratched or cut up. Wearing appropriate shoes for the environment that you're in, things like that. It's really important to inspect all of your equipment beforehand. So if you're engaging in something that requires equipment, like if you're going to go hunting, if you're going to go hiking, if you're going to go camping, water activities, rock climbing, any of those kind of things. You definitely want to make sure all of your equipment is inspected and working properly beforehand and in good condition. Make sure you check the weather first so you know what to expect and if it's going to be conducive to the activity you're planning. It's a good idea to know or learn basic first aid in the event that something happens and it is needed. If you're going to be camping, it's highly recommended that you have your camp set up before dark. That can be really difficult to do when it's dark and you don't have any light outside. Don't drink the natural water. Bring your own water. There's a lot of different bacteria and things that can be in natural water that your body just isn't attuned to. It can make you very ill. On that note, though, it's very important to stay hydrated. Dehydration can cause a lot of health problems and it can be very dangerous. So bring your own water and stay hydrated. Before starting out on any sort of physical activity, it's a really good idea to warm up, make sure your muscles are loose and your joints are loose before you start doing anything strenuous. And then start out slowly. Allow yourself to build up to your exertion level so you don't wear yourself out too fast. Plan your trip ahead of time so you have an idea of how long it will take you, where you're going, what kind of obstacles you can expect, and when you plan to be home. Let friends or families know where you will be. That way, again, if something were to happen to you, you get injured or something like that, they would know where to find you or where to send help to get you. Protect yourself from the sun, so wearing sunglasses and a hat, wearing sunscreen. Bring sunscreen with you so you can reapply as needed. Bringing a first aid kit is really important, so again, if you're injured or somebody you meet out there is injured, you can render aid if necessary. Have an emergency plan, so knowing what you're going to do if something happens, so you can be prepared to handle whatever obstacles you might be presented with. It's also important to rest often, so don't overexert yourself. Think about how far you're going. If you're going to go for a hike, how far you're going, you have to go that far back. So just know your plan and make sure you rest when you need it. Another thing is to bring food and snacks. It's really important because you don't want to get too hungry. You want to keep your energy levels up so you don't get too tired. And if you are experiencing low blood sugar or anything like that, that can impact your activities greatly and can be very damaging to your health. So once you've decided that you want to go and participate in some outdoor activities, you need to know where to go to get the information for it, what can be expected, if there's any events going on, what sort of safety updates are being promoted. And the best places you can do that are your local and state government websites. They usually list all your park information, event information, and safety guidelines for the various either events or places that you're wanting to go. A lot of local event centers also have, or recreational centers have, events that they will do, or participation in group activities for outdoor events as well. And the National Parks and Forest Service websites are also really great resources for getting outside and getting involved. And you can kind of specify your search within those sites for the activity you're interested in, whether it's family-oriented, individual-oriented, water-based sports, skiing and snow events, hunting, hiking, camping, anything you're really kind of looking for, those would be the best places to start looking. Make sure that you look up the safety updates information to make sure areas are open or closed or if there's any concerns you need to be aware of. At this point, please stop here and take the post test to assess what you have learned about the benefits of outdoor activities. The post test can be accessed by clicking the link accompanying this presentation found down below. If you would like to print out this handout with information regarding the benefits of outdoor activities and the resources that are available, please use the accompanying link.